The visualizations we created in Python thus far were straightforward because we merely needed to visualize existing data. However, the strength of the visualization tools that we looked at was that they processed the data as well by aggregating the data when we created the visualization. For example, in the car sales example, you could simply specify dimensions such as country or make and a measure you wanted to map such as sales price. And the data visualization tool would group the data by the dimension and aggregate the measure for you, for example, by calculating the sum, or if you preferred, the average. Doing this in Python requires that you first manipulate the data yourself. And to illustrate how this works, I created a simplified version of the car sales data that can be downloaded from this page. And as you will see, it only contains the sales data and it only shows the following fields: make, country name, sale price, labor cost, and color. We will create a visualization that shows average sales and average cost by make. And in order to do so, we will first have to split the data in the spreadsheet by make, do the calculations for each make, use these calculations to create a new data frame, and then plot the new data frame. So let's see how this all works. I'm going to start up a new Python kernel, and then I will import pandas and read the data into a sales data frame. So let's run this. And then we can look at sales. And you see that we have make, country name, sale price, labor cost, and color. So what we're now going to do is we're going to split out the sales data for Jaguar. And we're going to call this jag equals sales. And then what we're going to do is we're only going to get those sales where the make equals Jaguar. Let's run this and let's look at what Jag looks like. And you see that we now only have the sales for Jaguars in this new data frame. Now, we can now use the pandas function sum and count to calculate the total of the different columns in the Jag data frame and to count the number of rows. So what I'm going to do is first do Jag totals, and that is jag.sum axis equals 0, numeric only equals true. And we'll come back to this in a minute. And then jag count equals jag.count axis equals 0. So let's run this and I'll go over the code again. So this function sum and this function count are inbuilt Python functions that you run over a data frame. The axis equals 0 means that we'll go down rather than across. If you want to go across, you do axis equals 1. And the numeric only obviously means that we only do the sum function on the numeric fields. We don't have to do this for count because in count it doesn't really matter whether the field is numeric or not. So if we look at this, Jag totals, then you see the total cost price, total sales price, cost price, total labor cost. And then if we do Jag count, then we see that we had 129 sales of Jaguars. Now, we can now obviously calculate the the average sales price and the average cost by taking cost price in JAG totals and dividing that by any of the fields in JAG count. So what we're going to do is JAG av sales equals JAG totals sale price and we're going to divide this by JAG count, and it doesn't really matter which field we take, so let's take make. So let's run this, and then let's look at JAG av sales, and you see that by default, again, like we've seen in Power BI as well, for example, that we get an enormous number of digits behind the decimal point. So the way we're going to solve this is we're going to round this, and then we can, well, we can just round it. That will by default give us no digits behind the decimal point. And then what we can do as well, I'm going to pick this up, and then we do JAG av cost. And now what we do is we take the cost price. Okay, so we run this. Now we can look at the average sales again. You see the all the points behind the digit behind the decimal point have disappeared, and we can do the same for av cost. Alright, so let's run this, and you see that the cost is 37982. Now, so we've done this for Jaguar, but now we're going to have to do it for all the other makes as well. And rather than me trying to type this all in, I'm just going to copy it, and all this code is available from the web page. So we'll run this, and now we have you know, the different measures for Jaguar, for Aston Martin, for Triumph, for TVR, for Bentley, and for Rolls-Royce. Now what we're going to do is we're going to stick all of this back into a data frame, and we're going to call that data frame averages. And again, let me pick it up and then run it. And you see what we do is, so we make a new data frame that we're going to call averages. We take the first row is going to be Jaguar, then the Jag sales price, average cost price. Second one is going to be Aston Martin, sales price for average sales price for Aston Martin, average cost price, and so on. And then we're going to have to say, well, the columns are called make, average sales price, and average cost price. So let's run this. And now I made a mistake because we made this average sales. So let's fix this. Average sales and average cost. Let's try to run it again. And now we get the appropriate data frame, as we can see now. And then obviously what we can do is now we can start plot this averages dot plot, and then we plot make against average sales price and average cost price, and we want this as a bar chart. So let's see if this works. And now you see we do indeed get the a column chart. So this is not too complicated, but I think you'll agree that doing all this in Tableau or Power BI or ClickSense for that matter is a lot less complicated than what we had to do here.